Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Kicking It 316.
Good morning.
On tonight's show, we'll deal with, first and foremost, the guilty verdict. Somebody's breathing. We deal with Ma'Khia Bryant, the Columbus, Ohio 15-year-old who was fatally shot and killed. We're going to deal with the weight of it all. You know, we've been going through a lot in this pandemic, and we have a specialist to talk to us about mental health with all that we've been going through. It's Kicking It 316. We live.
Yeah.
Yo, can you hear me?
Though. Man, I didn't come correct tonight, man.
What's up? What's up, everybody, man? How y'all?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Gio.
I mean, it's good to see KP. Good to see Ted. I like the Miami Heat hat. You feel me? And I like that light in the background. Ted, you came correct tonight, baby.
Man, just a little something. I'm trying to catch up with
little
you
flex,
guys, man. You know, I catch up with you guys, setting the mood, you know, in the background.
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
It's crazy. I had these lights for like a month. I just ain't put them up. Have time to put them up. So.
I see you. J-Pat, what's up? Kristen, what's up? See y'all. Let's see who's in the chat, man. Let's make sure we get Corbin's back in the building. What's up, Super Bowl champ? It's good to see you, man. Give my love to the family. We got our faithful in here, man. Big respect. Once again, Huntsville holding things down. POP holding it down. Huntsville is in the house, man. What's Florida doing, man? Where's Florida at, man?
Florida coming. We just everybody's eating supper. You know, we eat supper around this time. So
Juan, what's up, my peoples, man? What's up, Juan? It's good to see you, my brother.
Juan is Florida.
Florida's always late to the party, baby. We're always late to the party, but we here. We here.
Florida.
That's what's up, man. Real quick, man, please go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button. We want to get the word out that we are live. We want to invite the masses, man. Let's go around, let's update the people what's been going on between our last episode and now. KP, man, what's good? Oh, Kim, what's up? Kim Mays in the building. What's up, girl? KP, talk to us, man. What you working on, man?
What's up, man? I'm out here trying to make sure I get this link out, trying to share the stream. But listen, y'all, it's my birthday today, man. I know I got some early birthday love a couple shows ago, man, but I'm officially a year older. You know what I mean? The Lord has been merciful to me, man. I got a mad kids, mad years under my belt, but it's not showing on my face, minus these gray hairs, man. So I'm blessed, man, and highly favored. I'm having a good day, man. I'm having a good day.
Yo, let's do something, Gio, man. Can you go ahead and let's go ahead and make this official, man?
Yeah, we got to bless you real quick. We're gonna bless you, my friend. Here you go, right there.
Hey,
you know we were going to
Papa
wish you.
Smurf.
We were going to wish you a happy birthday, man. But since you're so vain and you had to wish yourself a happy birthday, man.
I thought that was my cue, man. I thought that was my cue. You said what's up, man. I thought that was my cue, man.
Yo, man, your family wanted to make sure they let the world know, man, that they appreciate their father, their husband, and they're happy for you, man. Grateful to you. Your wife, she sent that to us, and of course, man, she's one of the first ladies, man, and we're gonna fulfill all those requests, man. So happy birthday to you, bro. Welcome to the old head gang. They can't see the Grays, but I saw them today when we were at the gym. They are coming, brother. Welcome.
What happened at the gym? What happened at the gym?
What
happened? He was getting my rebounds out the net, you know.
hey, listen. If we're gonna be for real, you know, he shot the ball well today. You know what I'm saying? Look, he won one, I won one, so it's tied up.
Man, I'm on that Stephen Curry, man. All praise be to God, man.
You let him win that one because it's his birthday?
No, I was off. You know, I've been lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? My jumper's been off. He ain't been lifting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He ain't been lifting in a while. I asked him what was up with the 21. He ain't want no parts of the 21 though.
Oh, he ain't want no smoke.
He ain't want no smoke. He ain't want no smoke.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gio, what's been good with you, man? Talk to us, man.
Man, I'm just happy to be alive. Had a 4-hour trip up north. I'm here in Orlando, the land of Mickey Mouse, and I'm just happy to be here. And KP, welcome to the 40-40, baby. It's good for you to be 40 years old, and And yeah. I know you're gonna try to say you're not 40, but
I
you're
am not
40.
40. I am not 40
Yeah.
people.
When you're 40.
We round up. We round up. We round up.
Hey, we know that birth certificates in New York and Brooklyn always messed up
Oh,
anyhow.
don't do
So
that.
you gotta carry on one or something like
It's-
that.
King County.
I like the shirt, you know, the U, rocking the U chain. I like
I
that.
see
I
you,
like that.
my boy.
I like that, man. It
Turnover.
worked 1 year. It worked 1 year and then it fell off.
Whoa,
Ted,
Right.
Ted, what you got, man?
whoa.
Always,
You can't
always
be
got
careful
something on
like
deck.
that and trying to segue.
What's good with you, Ted?
Man, I'm just here, brother. I can't complain, man. Just living a good life. Have nice weather here in Florida and Orlando. George's gonna experience it this week. So I'm just happy to be here, man. That's it.
Man, I had a great week also, man. I was down in Tallahassee, spent some time with the family. They're fully vaccinated, man. So it was good to be able to see moms, and you know, I got one shot in. I'll get my second shot next week. Yeah, I gave in.
Welcome to the club.
I gave in, y'all.
Welcome to the
I
club.
gave in, got that shot. But man, I'm feeling good, man. I get my second shot next week, and so we rolling with it. The family is good. Had a great time, and I'm happy to be here with you all today. And I'm ready to get this thing started. We got a special guest tonight.
Mhm.
Gio, go ahead and bring him from the backstage to the front stage. Go and hit that on mute. Go and hit that on mute.
Special celebrity guest.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Let's get that on muted.
Catch the frames.
Hey,
Catch the frames on the wall. Catch the frames on the wall.
Camille,
Many games. I was in the audience just cheering for her. You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate that.
I have my son.
that.
Your number one fan. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
I appreciate that.
Tonight we have Camille Jones, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you? What's been going on? It's probably a minute for some of the people that have seen you. It's your first time on Kicking It 316, so let the people know what's been good with you.
Hey everyone, again, Camille here. Thank you, Shay, for the invitation. My family and I are currently residing in Dallas, Texas.
Mm.
We're really enjoying ourselves. A lot of opportunity here. We have 5 children, so as you can imagine,
That real?
extremely
I feel
busy.
better.
Yeah, I got you by one. And I am a homeschooling mom by day, and then I do have a private clinical practice by night and on the weekend. So I've been pretty busy with positive things. So I'm just happy to be here.
That's what's up. That is what's up. I respect every
Respect.
homeschool parent.
Do you do telehealth as well, Camille?
Yes, I do. And for the Alabama and Texas residents,
Come on,
I am licensed to practice in both states. So, and I do accept insurance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blue Cross in Alabama, I believe I do. I'll leave my information if you all want to reach out.
That'd be
But
great.
we're accepting new clients.
Absolutely.
Do you take advantage?
How'd your
You take
family
a
fare during the snowstorm?
Oh, we did exceptionally well. The Lord just blessed. We didn't have any interruptions with energy, water. It was just another day for us, other than, of course, we were enjoying the snow, but the Lord really blessed.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Do you take advantage risk? Because I know a lot of ministers, workers need some of that good counseling. So do you take advantage risk management insurance? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, no,
or is it
I am
just
not a
Blue
provider.
Cross? Okay.
No. But we do
Shout out
private
network.
pay. We'll work
Yeah.
something out.
Talk about that. Talk about that.
Yo,
You know, the church don't pay us enough to do that. Quality pay, but it's all good.
Hey, it pay enough for you to get them shoes, man. We support what we want to support, man. You got that U chain shirt on, man.
Exactly.
That was not 1999.
It was actually.
Yo, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Fab, man, it's good to see you. Man, you was on the show a couple weeks ago. Great show. It's good to see you, my brother. All right, man, let's get into it. Kick it or pass it. This is the portion of the show where we get into these sneakers. We get into these kicks. And let's see what we got tonight. Up first, we got the Air Jordan 4 University 4s. All right, y'all, this is going to be a draw on most platforms. Really, if you haven't entered in the Foot Locker or the Hibbets by now,
Too late.
you might it's too late. Kick push. Your only shot now is really sneakers or retail. And the draw is going to begin on the 20th of April, 9 a.m. at Central Time. $200. Man, you see the shoe. It's
I don't even
butter.
think Foot Locker had them.
You don't even think Foot Locker had them?
It was just Finish Line and JD Sports.
Is that on the Flex? What is that? The Flex?
No, Finish Line is by itself. JD Flex is Foot Locker, Champs, and Foot Action.
And they didn't even have them.
Yeah, they only had them on Finish Line and JD Sports.
Okay. Yeah, so if you ain't got them now, your best hope is sneakers, man. But it's gonna drop on the 28th. What y'all thinking? Me personally, I'll start this off, man.
That's your speed. That's your speed.
Well,
It's a
I know you
kick. It's a
I know-
kick. It's a
Nah, it
kick.
is.
It's a
Yeah.
kick.
be true
It's
to
a kick.
yourself.
It's a kick. The suede looks A1. And it's a dope colorway. I mean, I got the Travis Scotts. I mean, that's why I'm really not really pressed by these. I got the original joints. These is the knockoff joints, but
Okay,
you know
all
what I'm
right.
saying? So,
Okay,
it's a kick.
okay.
I guess I kick it. What about you, Gio?
You already know what it is. It's my affinity for the fours, and I just can never hit on no fours. I'm kicking those. I am kicking those eyes wide shut.
Let's let
Kicking
the lady go. Camille, man, is this something you would kick or you gonna pass this one?
I would pass.
Not feeling those, huh?
Nah.
It's not the blue for you. It ain't the blue for you, huh?
No, it's not.
Okay. All right, Ted, man. Talk to us, man.
Yes, and the one I stand corrected. It is on Flex, and you can still try to reserve a spot, but we know how that's gonna go. The box gonna.
Oh, you can still reserve on Flex.
Yeah,
but if you ain't got no points,
I got points. This is the kick it all day. Just for the fact that they're fours, and I love Ford. Ford are probably my second favorite silhouette. So I would say definitely kick it. And even if you don't want it, you buy it to sell it. So.
I mean, it just don't compare to
And
you know what I'm saying.
Now you have my attention if you're buying and selling.
Yeah, if you buy, I mean, that's the game right. That's the game right now, buying and selling, because I mean that's what everybody's doing really.
These are investment pieces back here. This is
exactly.
Oh, okay.
This is the vault.
Those are assets.
They can be. It can be. I got a shoe up here that's doubled. It's worth. So I'm ready to cash in.
That's most shoes these days. He's easily gonna double, if not triple.
That's right. All right. KP, man, New York, man. What's good?
It's a kick. I mean, it's a lot of blue. It's a lot of powder. You know that blue. It's a lot of blue. But I feel like this shoe ain't even a discussion, man. It's a hard kick.
Okay.
I like it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what you just flashed on the screen, but it's solid, man.
Respect.
You know, fours are just one of them shoes, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody want to knock out this Air phone?
Don't nobody want to.
I'll lay it out. We got the Air phone posit. It's called Barely Green. Man, this is reminiscent of the ugly. What was that? A dunk or air? I think it was a dunk. You know, during All-Star Weekend that dropped. I think I said it was Ghostbuster shoes. KP had his one line saying that these some Tallahassee kicks. This shoe is going to. I forget what day it's going to drop. I believe it's on the 28th. On the 30th, 9 a.m. $230. This it ain't gonna go for me. No, not going. It's not gonna hunt. No. Once again, the all black, all shiny. It looked like referees. You know, referees used to put the shoe polish on the regular leather to make it extra shiny. I'm good. It's a pass.
Yeah, I think I have one pair of phones, and I did not buy them myself, but I think two things are wrong. Number one, the price range is just no way these shoes should be $230.
Correct.
Number two, like you said, the glossy black thing. And I don't know about. I mean, I think like everything else, they're gonna sell out anyways. But I definitely will not be paying $230 for these shoes.
Camille.
For me, kick. No, I'm joking.
Would be contrary, huh?
Exactly.
So is this a kick or a pass, Camille?
It's definitely a pass.
Definitely. What
Yeah.
if it's in outlet?
If it's an outlet,
I've seen phone pop hit outlet and they still
yeah, I might
sell
buy
it.
it
They
to
still
sell it.
just a little bit below retail.
Yeah, if it's an outlet, I might buy it to sell. I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna be bought in New York, that's for sure. Because New Yorkers they'll wear those no matter what. You know
I
what
was
I
about
mean?
to say that they love some.
I'm not
phone
sure
pops.
about the colorway though. You know, I'm kind of
What?
always questioning Nike when they come out with these deep black shoes in summertime, man. You know, I don't know, man.
I mean, you was feeling them ugly dunks though.
But dunk, I'm partial to dunks, man.
Oh,
These, I
okay.
mean, even the price point. I mean, I'm with Ted. I mean, it's close, man. But that's the typical price point, and I think Nike can do it because people gonna pay for it, man. That's just what it is. They got a legit faithful following with these shoes, man. So, it's a pass for me though.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Ted, you went?
Yeah, I went already.
Gio?
Pass. It's a pass.
All right, let's kick it. Let's keep sliding. All right.
Ooh.
This is a shoe that's been anticipated all year long, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
think on our first episode of season 2, we talked about this very shoe. This is the Air Jordan 13 Red Flint.
Yes,
It's gonna
sir.
hit you. It's gonna hit the pocket at $190. It's gonna be a draw. Also, this is May 1st. That's right around the corner, y'all. 9 a.m. Central Time. This is a kick every single day of the week. This is a kick, y'all. And if you say it's a pass, we might have to.
Yeah, I'm
Talk
not with
about it.
cancel
Talk
culture,
about
but you may get canceled if you passing on these.
Yeah, this is a kick every day of the week. I see Camille's face. Camille.
Pass.
I'm not a sneaker person. So.
Okay, what would
You
you
know
like
what?
to see this?
I have never owned a pair of Jordans in my life.
Okay.
So it's just not.
It's not your thing.
Something I would rock. Nope.
Okay. Ted,
But they're nice.
They're
They're
nice.
nice.
I see a lot of
Messy
kicks.
too.
I see Shari kick it with exclamation.
Bend it like Beckham.
I see J Pat says kick. Fab says kick. Corbin say kick. The streets is saying kick.
Kick it.
Juan says kick.
Yeah.
Ted, you saying kick it?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's an easy right there.
All right.
Gio, I think Gio might be contrary.
It's not a kick it, huh? It's a pass. You muted.
It's a pass.
Wow.
Yay! Woo, we got
you
a
racist,
pass.
bro. You
Wow.
racist.
This particular shoe didn't even deserve me to unmute my mic. It's a pass.
Wow, bro.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm with Camille on this one.
Did you
All
get that
back.
Johnson & Johnson?
Oh, man.
Get the Pfizer, baby.
Did you
The
get that
Pfizer.
Johnson?
I get that.
Did you get that Johnson
I
&
get-
Johnson?
I get the Pfizer. I get the Pfizer.
Get Johnson & Johnson.
Hey,
Somebody
I got the
check this man temperature, man. Gio says pass it, man. You tripping, bro. This is a kick, man. Matter of fact, since you don't want it, man, go ahead and hit for me, and I'll pay you retail for it. You know what I'm saying?
hold on. You pay me retail or resell? Because I know
Retail.
He said retail.
No, because come on now. When have you ever sold me retail? Huh?
I
When you hit,
sold you
when you
retail.
hit for me? When you hit for me? You
When
said
when I sold you them PNGs, I hit you for retail.
I was resell, baby.
It wasn't, bro. It was retail plus shipping. You gotta pay for shipping.
Oh, let's go.
What I look like?
Let's go.
Sales? What I look like? Walmart?
You see
Amazon?
W's?
Yo,
Comment.
damn. Did Camille
Yes,
just say
I have
she
never
has
owned a
never
pair of
owned-
J's.
But she owns some Nikes though.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, all right. Pastor Snell, good to see you, man. All right. I think we got one more shoe. Gio, man, this is your shoe, man. Go ahead, man. Tell the people about the joint, man.
It ain't my shoe. Don't do that. It ain't my shoe.
It ain't
But
my shoe.
since you put it out there, let me go ahead and let me read off what this shoe is. This is actually, let me see if I can get this thing together. This is the Air Jordan 3 à la manière. It's French. I guess
Okay.
it's French. 428 is coming out
That's
April
exactly
28th.
why I passed it to you.
Is that why
Push.
you said it's his shoe?
Yeah.
You racist, dog.
No, because I couldn't pronounce it.
Push back.
I've heard it pronounced so many different ways.
A la manière. That's the only way I can
I
pronounce it.
heard,
But
I heard of
Better
eight
than
mile
me.
beignets and everything else.
yeah, beignets. All right, good,
I'm
good.
on yeah, nah, man, no, that's not.
So apparently they pushed it back a couple times, but these
Yeah.
shoes are dope. They are Atlanta based boutique collaboration with Jordan, and these are actually someone says La Passe. Someone says so. Yo,
Yo,
but definitely
that's a good one.
I can't.
these are actually women's shoes. There's a history behind it. It's dealing with, I guess, woman empowerment. The inside of the shoe has quilted soles inside, so it's pretty dope. The detail to it, the pebbled leather, the I mean, just the material on it is next level, and it has that kind of sail color to it. And the cell colorways usually do well in terms of resale. So I think that for anything other than resale, these are must cop for me. And then they're threes, and so threes and fours are usually some of my favorite Jordans.
Mhm.
And especially I haven't hit on those yet, so they're
Yeah.
elusive for me, and I
Yeah.
would love to be able to get them.
Okay. Camille.
I actually like these, so it's kicking it for me.
Good
And this
choice.
is why. They're not very loud. They are kind of non-assuming, but they're
Okay.
cute. They're
Humble.
classy. I like them.
She
So
done
kicking
got
it for
humble.
me.
When you became humble?
When I become what?
Humble. They're not loud.
Whatever. I've never been.
I know. I'm just
Whatever.
kidding. I'm talking about on the basketball court. Ted.
Exactly.
Ted, what's good, Ted? What you gonna do with this, man?
Listen, that's a kick it all day. I know it's women exclusive, but those are gonna sell out to everybody.
Nice.
Everybody can get them. If you live in Atlanta, I will. It will behoove you to go and find a way to get a mama year. If they have a raffle or whatever, get there and get these shoes, because those shoes will sell out, and I guarantee the resale on them gonna be $500-$600, if not more. So if you can get your hands on a pair, even if you don't like them, get them. But if you look at the whole shoe, that's a dope shoe. That's a clean shoe. So it's a kick it all day for me.
All day.
KP.
Oh, it's a kick. Ain't no question about it, man.
All day.
I love threes, man. It's a kick, man. Did we say these are lady shoes?
They
Yeah,
are
and
exclusive.
So, that means
So I gotta
can't
get me.
them.
I gotta get me a size 13. Come on now.
They make,
Size
they
13.
make your size though. They make your size.
You're right in the middle.
Fellas,
I can't. What's in
my
that bottle? What's in your water? Is that water in your bottle? What's in your bottle, bro?
it is spring water. Listen, y'all. I guess I gotta stand on my own 2 feet on this one. And I'm gonna echo the sentiments of Fab. Le Passe. Now this is a
You
resale.
crazy.
This is a resale. I will buy it to flip
Those
it.
are clean, bro.
Yeah, those
What
are
are you
nice.
talking about?
They're
What are you
actually
talking about?
they're actually not clean. They're actually dirty. They look worn.
You're not
They
humble.
actually look worn. They actually
No,
look
you're tripping.
aged. Like if
These would be my first
I
pair
get
of
what you're
J's.
saying.
That's
My-
how nice they are.
The soles look
Yeah.
like they yellow from wearing.
it's like they did the whole I'm an Asian shoe look. The Travis, it's a pass. It's a 2-hand chest pass, textbook, right in the numbers, and that's it. I wouldn't put this on my 2 feet, man, but I would sell it.
All right.
So, and I don't mind standing on my 2 feet, man. That joint is trash. That joint is ugly. All right. And if you think if you think the shoe looks good, something's wrong with y'all. All right. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. J Pass says kick it. All right, the it, man. A lot has been going on. They got the Eiffel Tower on it now, son. Oh, Fab is on one today. Last week it was Nate Lyles. Today it is Fab. Power Forge holding it down.
Mercy.
All right. There's a lot going on. We've been waiting and anticipating that verdict. The verdict came down. Ted, kind of walk us through those charges. I'm not sure if you remember off the top of your head what they were. I think they was third degree.
It was a second degree manslaughter, a second degree something as a third degree something. I don't remember charges exactly.
40, but maximum was
40.
it 40?
I think maximum 40, but that's if it's aggravated, then I think it could go up higher. So those charges are, and I have to applaud the prosecution. Two things. Applaud the prosecution and also let you all know, I don't know whether or not you knew, but the two attorneys who are prosecuting, I can't remember the white guy name, but the black guy, Jerry Blackwell, neither one of those are prosecutors. They are actually, Jerry Blackwell is the CEO of his own law firm where he deals with mass torts and stuff like that. He actually defends clients. And then the other guy also from private practice. So they realized that this thing was so bad that, number one, they couldn't trust their own prosecutors. Number two, that they outsourced attorneys from private practice to come in and prosecute this former cop. So I applaud them for the job that they did, and then also I applaud them for the charges that were brought up. A lot of times we see this happens where they overcharge someone, where they try to charge them first degree manslaughter, first degree whatever, homicide, first degree, whatever you want to call it. And the problem with that is that first degree, you have to normally prove intent, that this person went out and intentionally meant that I was going to kill somebody this day. The charges that they brought up allow room for negligence. They allow room for recklessness. They allow room for everything that would be a catch-all case. I think they brought the right charges. I knew that in my heart. I knew that there was no way with the video of him kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes and 28 seconds. I knew that there was no way this jury, who had 4 black people on it, were going to come back that quick and then not be guilty. I just knew there was no way it was going to happen. So in my mind, I knew if they came back quick, that it was going to be guilty or it was going to be a hung jury. I knew that it would not be not guilty. So I think the prosecutors did a great job. I think the defense threw some stuff against the wall that never really stuck, that never really made sense. You went from him having some type of cardiac arrest to him to maybe carbon monoxide poisoning, where you can't even prove that the car was even on. So it was stuff that they threw against the wall that wasn't going to stick. But the prosecution did a good job. We got the guilty verdicts. Now we just wait to June. I think it's June 3rd or 4th, something like that, for sentencing. So at that time we'll find out.
Even the carbon monoxide joint, like if you hold somebody's head on the water for 9 minutes, that's not drowning them. Like I don't even understand how that was a legitimate argument. Camille, what were your thoughts on the verdict or the case?
So my thoughts, even from the beginning, because it was such a high profile case, I was making sure again, as a mental health professional and a mother, that my mental health was protected. Okay. So I never watched the video. One, because I think it would just be seared in my psyche. And again, I was trying to protect that space. Two, again, as a mental health professional, and I think just the person I am in general, I didn't want to watch a grown man being suffocated for 9 minutes plus, calling for his mother. He was reduced to a child. I wanted to remember him from the videos when he was alive and the images. And so I think from the very beginning, I made sure to just kind of protect that space, because we have to be careful not to feed on everything the media is sending our way, because it can be very traumatizing and re-traumatizing. In terms of the verdict, in terms of the trial, again, I did not watch it. My children wanted to, but I told them I didn't think it was a good idea. We spoke about the trial, just kind of in a general sense. I did compromise and allow them to watch the closing statements. So all the evidence had been presented, but they were still able to feel like they were a part. And I think that was a good compromise and very age appropriate. When the verdict came down, I couldn't say I was excited or happy. I was relieved. I think that would adequately describe my feelings and emotions. And then I, maybe an hour or so later, just broke down, just started crying, because it was just a very emotional culmination of oppression and marginalization that we've experienced, since slavery. So it just kind of hit me.
Yeah, that was. Ooh. Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate that. I appreciate the response. I definitely appreciate you going straight to that guarding that safe space. I think that's something we don't talk about a lot. And I definitely feel, since you started that, I feel like sometimes the media takes advantage of that, knowing that people open themselves up. You know what I mean? And it's not that we don't want to acknowledge it. But there's a lot of people who are going through, and we're going to talk about this later when we talk about the weight of it all. But for me, I kind of took the same path. I don't want to see the video. I think I watched like 10 seconds, and I was like, yeah, I can't watch another video like this. I got too many kids, my skin color. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from New York. I grew up looking over my shoulder for police officers. It didn't just start happening for me a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? I was harassed every day after school by police officers riding the train and whatnot. So it's I don't need to be in that space either. And it's already emotional. It's so crazy how you say you broke down. Just imagine the emotions you're dealing with not having watched the trial. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine.
Exactly, precisely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I can appreciate that. I kind of distanced myself from it too, kind of listen to other people talk about it. And prayed. I'm gonna be real. I feel like I spent most of my time during this trial like, Lord, we do not need a not guilty verdict. So whatever you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what we need right now.
Yeah.
So I'm relieved with you too. I'm glad. I don't know if I can say I'm happy, man. There's just something about justice for me that's weird. It's like, you should be glad, you know what I'm saying? But then on the same hand, it's like you just pray that there's still some kind of restoration, whatever form that looks like. Yeah.
Well, he still did. That's the conflict, right? Just because Chauvin was found guilty, that doesn't bring back this innocent man, essentially. And so it's just an unfortunate situation. Yeah. Thank God for the guilty verdict, but it doesn't restore.
Right. Even if they gave him 100 years, it's still like,
for
it's
still a loss.
Yeah,
Can't be justice.
I don't. We keep going. I spoke to some of the students on campus about this a couple of weeks ago, because even with watching it so much, some of us have put ourselves in this, like, as far as I'm concerned, in this selfish space where we've made this trial about us rather than making it about the injustice. You know what I'm saying? Rather than making it about the family, who, even though we're rejoicing and popping bottles to yo, he's guilty, they still have lost a loved one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we have to make sure we put that in context. I hear what you're saying, but many people do see themselves and their children in this situation. So I think it is about us, because that could have been us or a loved one. Does that make sense?
Oh no, yeah. I'm talking about primarily. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it wasn't so much about just wanting justice. It's just like, I listen to some people's rhetoric, and it's almost like they didn't really care what the family was going through. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, oh, we just want justice because we want justice. And it's like, it's not about you. Like, think about the family. Think about what they're going through while you're dropping your memes and your comments and whatnot on the internet. You know what I mean? So but I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
One of the things that I kind of struggled with is like, it was the sheer overwhelming feeling of being of relief, but at the same time, like, as you all are saying, just the reality that no amount of guilty verdict is going to bring this gentleman back. And to go back to what Camille was saying specifically, thinking about our mental space, and we're not necessarily really attached to George Floyd like that, right? And the fact that we couldn't even be able to, to stomach to see the entire video. His family, some of his family members had to sit in that courtroom, and they had to view some of these, some of that evidence, that video in its whole entirety. And one of the things that his brother said was that, to be there, to have to go through it, he was definitely grateful for, in terms of the outcome. Because for me, I think that for them to have gone through what they went through, and then let's say the verdict went a different way, that kind of trauma to that family would be unfathomable. And so a lot of people prayed in terms of having God's will be done, and I believe it is. And sometimes justice, justice is always messy. I hate to get theological on us, but even when we talk about justice in a biblical sense, there has to be a shedding of blood, right, in order for real restorative justice to be what it is. And so in this particular case, there aren't any winners but it serve.
Yeah. I heard I think you froze for a second. I heard somebody say this wasn't justice, but it was some accountability. And it was I was happy to see accountability. It was such a serious moment, and I definitely can see how much I've matured since I was a child in the OJ verdict, like OJ verdict. I'm just, as a child, we're running up and down, high-fiving. This was real sobering, because at the end of the day, a life is lost. And when I think about even the OJ thing, we were jumping up and down celebrating. There was a life that was lost. And I think both of you, I think Camille and KP, I think you all are saying something similar. I think we do see ourselves in that situation, and we worry about our children or ourselves, and not just this happening to men, because we see this happen to women also. But I think oftentimes we tend to forget about the weight that the family is carrying. Like, this is heavy for us, right? Like, I remember season 1, every episode was like one thing after another, and we were doing this and running with it. It just became so heavy. But I was able to come home to my family, and my family is still there. But for the family of George Floyd, and for Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and the list goes on and on and on. It's sobering. Of course, I think there is this relief, because you do want accountability. You don't want the person who murdered your loved one to just walk free. That adds pain to what you already are going through. So to see somebody held accountable, it's the right thing, and it's just a shame that we don't even expect the right thing to happen. And so AJ, Ted, you laid out some good points that I didn't know. I did not know that those were private attorneys that they brought on this case to prosecute. But now I get it. We see now why so many other cases don't get the guilty verdict, because prosecutors will overshoot, as far as what they charge individuals with, almost knowing that the proof of burden is so great it can't be met, but they did an excellent job here.
Overshooting, some will underperform, because like I said before,
they mail it in.
The past thing, prosecutors, their jobs are made by police officers every day. So without police officers, prosecutors wouldn't have a job. So they work with them on a daily basis. So then to then turn around and have to try to prosecute them, some people could be, unbiased, and some people can't. And so I think what was indicative of where it was going was the first press release that they put out. The first press release said that man died in police custody after they tried.
It was so corrupt.
It was so corrupt. And then when the prosecutor started, I guess when his thing to the grand jury initially, the first prosecutor, he talked about how big George Floyd was, and this and this and that. And you just knew that it was heading down the path of corruption. And I'm
familiar path.
That there was a new district attorney, a black guy who had just got in. They gave it to him, and he had the wisdom and knowledge to push it out to people beyond any prosecution office. I've never seen that before. I don't know if it happens on a regular basis, but I think that was the right thing to do, and they did. And it's just me, to be me with my legal background, but I watched every moment of it, and I think Jerry Blackwell was the personification of Black excellence. The way he cross-examined the witnesses, the way he tore apart the scientific quote unquote evidence of the defense. I think it was a masterful prosecution, and they did a heck of a job.
I think it's also important to acknowledge that although a guilty verdict came down, we still haven't had sentencing. right? And that's when many times the guilty verdict is undermined by this sympathetic, when the system is more is sympathetic to the accused. And so although we have the guilty verdict, I'm still kind of holding my breath because there still needs to be a sentence. Also, to speak to what you stated, Shay, about the OJ verdict, right? Like you said, as a child, I remember being in the 8th grade, being happy because everyone else was happy. But as an adult, when I look back, and I was like, that's, I think like that is some sick stuff to celebrate someone getting off. And we all knew he was guilty. But that's how deep our oppression runs.
The wounds, yeah.
That we could celebrate an innocent woman. I mean, she lost her life. We weren't even thinking about that. We just wanted him to be convicted. And so it's so conflicting, right? That cognitive dissonance, where that's how traumatized we are as Blacks in America, where we could celebrate a convicted killer getting off killing his ex-wife, I think, or soon to be ex-wife. I can't remember if they were married or not, but I just want to make that point from a mental health perspective.
I think that's a very good point. And just to add, I think they also opted not to have the jury decide the sentencing is going to be the judge. And so I think that point that you make, Mill, it could be very well accurate. The judge may be very sympathetic to Chauvin and may say, you know what, whatever aggravating factors he's not going to take into account, and he'll just sentence however he wants to sentence. And so,
so we need to pray that God's will be done, and justice is served.
Chauvin made that decision, and I think it was the decision that any defense attorney would probably recommend the client to do, because
just found you guilty.
You have the motion of these people just found you guilty versus a judge who's going to be
impartial.
To me, it's been several times throughout the case where I thought the judge was more lenient to the defense. So, yeah,
I agree.
I could tell just the way he read the counts and the decision that was made. Again, remember, I didn't watch the trial, but just hearing him read the guilty, he just seemed disappointed.
Right.
If I want to give my last takeaway again, and I'm glad you watched the closing remarks. I think the last word Jerry Blackwell said, and we talked about it last week, I think was so crucial, and it was literally he put the entire case in this one quote. He says, George Floyd didn't die because his heart was so big, right? But he died basically because Derek Chauvin's heart was so small. And literally that's how he dropped the mic, and that was how he ended his closing arguments.
Preacher.
And that thing is deep, because you can talk about the size of the guy, you can talk about his past, but none of that matters. In that moment it's all about the empathy of the person who is in charge. And he looked at this young black man and saw no human side of him, no humanity in him. And his heart was so small, and as a result, a family lost a loved one. So, yeah.
While we're on the subject of hearts, I don't know about you all, but my heart was literally broken as the verdict came. We find out that over in Columbus, Ohio, I believe a 15-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant was shot and killed by law enforcement. And I don't know, there is some controversy around this particular case. And I guess, I'll start off, I'll jump out here and just say, this is tragic. This is just heartbreaking. I wish I did not subject my senses to this. But just to see, that's not natural. Like we are not supposed to be going and experiencing these things. It really hurt me. And I know a lot of this is still very sensitive, and I'm hesitant because women, especially Black women, are probably the least protected, of all groups of people. And we see it. We see it by how certain men who have fallen victim to police brutality versus women who have done it. We don't. It's just not the same. We don't get the same outcry. It's not the same publicity. And the numbers I'll be interested to see those numbers, but I know there are a lot more than we think there are. So I'm hesitant in saying that. In saying this, I do feel like policing in the United States, there needs to be just an overhaul. But I do feel like this for me, this was a little different. I feel like this was a lot to process with a little bit of time. And I'm saddened. I'm hearted. This should not have happened. I'm hurt that we continue to stand by and videotape, like, while people are fighting. It's not just Black people. This happens in bars. This happens in all cultures. People fight, right? But there was a day when, like, you didn't want your boy or your girl to get into a fight. You would break it up. But it's like those days are gone. There was a day when the police pulled up, everybody scattered, like, and ran. Somebody yelled "popo," and everybody just took off running. Like, these days seem to be far gone. I don't know. This was a little different for me. It hurts the same, but I felt like this was a little different for me than the George Floyd situation. How y'all feel?
It was definitely it's definitely a different situation. Number one, and I want to say this carefully, but I think we as a community, I'll say it like this. I think her parents failed her. Because it comes out that her dad was there. Supposedly her dad is the one that's shown in the video.
I thought I heard her father.
Yeah.
I thought I heard her father say, "You shot my daughter."
The one who kicked the girl who was laying down, that was her dad, supposedly. So, number one, I think her parents failed. Number two, the system did fail her because she the one who called and said they're jumping, they're trying to jump me, whatever. And then the fight broke out, and then, if you're from anywhere that's anywhere, you know that there's no such thing as a fair fight. If you come to jump me, then I gotta do whatever I can to survive this jumping. And then it turns out everyone was saying that she was about to stab another girl. And that was a grown woman in pink who she was about to stab. That wasn't a little girl. That was a grown woman who had come to support the fight. So I think the adults there failed her. I agree with you 1,000% that policing practices, policing as a whole has to be overhauled, because there's no reason why you can watch a video of a man, with a gun walk out of a place and he isn't shot, or there's a video released lately of a cop hanging on to a truck while this older white gentleman is driving away and nobody shoots at him or anything, but there's no way to diffuse this fight. And I understand you have to make a split-second decision, but it's just like I watched the video and the first thing I saw was as soon as she got out the car and walked up, he's reaching for his gun, and it's like that. It has to be a better way. And I understand, if I was on the other end of that knife, I probably want somebody to end the threat. To me, that's the way I look at it. Or if it was my child, even though this is a grown woman. So that's why I say it's tragic. But I don't think this is I personally don't see this going anywhere as far as legally anything happening to the police officer. I just don't see it. It's a tragedy. It's a definite tragedy.
I just think personally that it is different, but I still feel as though a split second decision. I don't know. I don't think that you can truly ascertain the whole situation in less than 10 seconds. And my man from his distance, his and we talked about it. We talked about that last week. His aim was impeccable. 4 shots, and he hits her 4 times, right, from that distance. And so what I'm saying is there's got to be more non-lethal avenues available for things of the sort. But yeah, it's for me. I mean, it's hard for a 16-year-old person to die the way she died. I think the system failed her. If in fact you have grown adults there videotaping and encouraging the fight, we got to do better. We got to do better.
Yeah.
That's not, it's not. It ain't. It's not how life should be. And and the fact that this young girl felt that her only recourse was to fight with a knife, like she's defending herself. Well, I don't want to characterize it as though she was defending herself, but the fact that she felt as though she had to have a knife to render this fight even says a whole lot about her state of mind. Maybe she was afraid. I saw reports that she was in foster care there. Maybe she felt alone, that no one was there for her, had her back. And it's just one of those things where I just wish that the totality of the information the officer would have known prior to his intervention, and maybe perhaps things could have been done differently.
Before I want to just real quick just read a comment from Pastor McLeod, Andre McLeod. He writes, what happened to non-lethals? What about wounding? Why 4 body shots by a former sniper in the military?
Yeah, I was about to speak to that too, man. I'm with y'all, man. I just we say this every time. I just can't get over why you gotta shoot somebody. Like, why is that the first court? Like, I don't get it. I don't get that. And I mean, I understand maybe when you're trained, like you don't know who has what on them. Like maybe somebody else got a gun. But I mean, how many stories are we reading of cops going into situations and somebody in the crowd pulling out a gun on them? It's few and far between. So I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? How do you make that judgment call that what this person is doing equals death? That doesn't make it it doesn't compute for me, y'all. Yo, they robbed a store. Death, even if they're guilty, death is not the punishment for robbing a store. I just don't get it.
Did you see this video?
Nah. I don't need to see the video, bro. I'm listening. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I can't. Mentally, I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. I just can't do it. I'm an introvert. I internalize everything.
I'm not suggesting you to watch the video. I hate that I saw it. The reason why I brought it up was it's not the same. It wasn't like somebody robbing a store. She was actively protecting herself, but she was actively getting ready to stab somebody. Yeah, so I think the question is
he's a trained professional. He could take her down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, take her down how?
I don't know, bro. But
so what I think the question is in the training.
Well, that's where I was headed too. I was headed there because I have, and maybe this is unpopular. I personally don't believe that former military should serve as police officers. That's just me. So I have friends that have served overseas. They've done tours and they're police officers.
That makes sense.
I get it. Like I get the transition is easy, but when you are in Afghanistan or Iran, you are trained to shoot first. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to people when we were in school. I won't call it the person's name, but we were at Oakwood. There was somebody in our program who had done a tour, and he described to me the first time he shot somebody, and he was like, "Man, somebody came over the wall. It was either I pulled the trigger or I was going to drop." And the way he told the story was the person standing next to him dropped. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But you can't take somebody out of that situation and then put them in the street with their fellow citizens. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody is not an enemy of the state. You know what I'm saying? Some people just out here fighting for their lives, man. So I mean, I don't know, man. So I feel like if you are going to go from military service to police force service, there's got to be some kind of special training. There's got to be something, man. It's a difficult topic, but it's too much, man. I can't. I don't. And I'm saying this too. Again, I've had guns drawn on me, y'all. I remember in New York, we were at a basketball game. somebody said there was a gun in the crowd. I forget. Somebody was like, yo, we're gonna fight after the game. But then somebody's like, yo, he got a gun. They called the cops. I went outside. My car just happened to be on the sidewalk. It's where the basketball game is crowded. There's no parking. I parked on the sidewalk. The cops rolled up on me, my mother, my brothers, and they came guns drawn because for some reason, being on the sidewalk meant he's possibly the one with the gun. That doesn't make any sense.
You black.
Come on, man. And I want to say one of the officers was black, and it didn't even matter that I was like, yo, I'm a pastor. I'm out here, this, that, and third. He's like, you think this is funny? You think this is funny? I'm like, bro, it's why is your gun drawn? For what? My hands are free. You know what I'm saying?
Aggression.
We gotta do better. We gotta do better than this, man. We gotta do better than that.
Camille, you're a mother, and you have daughters, you know, so kind of let us know your thoughts on what's been said and what you've heard.
Yeah, so it's interesting. The way I became aware of this particular police shooting was from my 16-year-old daughter.
Mm.
And she had seen it on social media. And she came to me like, Mommy, did you see this? And I said, no, I can't. I'm sure it was shortly after the George Floyd situation, right? Yeah, the verdict. So it was, and so again, I put that boundary up, and because not only because of the situation, but who came and informed me, it was just too close. And I'm just learning to protect that space. I haven't seen the video, but it was just too much. It was just too much for me in that moment. But to speak to, and it's just very tragic, right? But to speak to KP and his confusion as to why these police officers can just use a lethal option without even thinking, is because the mindset happens way before they pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. The way they view us is like the enemy when you're in combat. Right, all the propaganda. Black males are violent. They're out to get us. They're gonna rob us. They're this or that. All these conversations are taking place in these white circles regularly.
It's so sick.
And so when they encounter the enemy, because that's what we are, they handle us accordingly. And so it's not in that split second that they're making the decision. They've already categorized us and compartmentalized us way before the trigger's drawn.
And that's a conversation needs to be had.
Man.
That's the coming to Jesus conversation that needs to be had, because again, it's all about how you view people who are outside of your culture. And again, I'm gonna say it again. This dude, 4 shots, and the accuracy. If you saw the video, and I'm not trying to paint a picture, but both girls were literally inches from each other. The fact he was able to hit 1 4 times. Again, I can only say there could have been other options in terms of the level of the degree of how lethal the choices he had at his disposition. But definitely, when you look at people as subhuman, then you don't care. You don't care. And to be honest with you, I don't know that he even cared that the other person might have been stabbed. I don't know the person. Let me not go into I don't know the officer. But what I'm saying is, if that line of thinking is true, that a lot of these individuals make up their minds beforehand, then for him, there was no distinction between the victim or the one who was, the abuser. And the fact that he can pull the trigger and not think, maybe I might misfire and hit the other person accidentally, shows to me that he may not have cared. So
he's trained to do it. He's trained to do it. Let me say this, man, too, what's so sick about these situations. Camille, thank you for what you just said, because for me, it's this the roots run so deep. It's so sick. Like, I remember going to a school, I'm not going to call the name, where during Black History Month, y'all know me. I'm not no big time pro-black. I'm wearing black everything. That's not me. I got my, my whatever.
You do have a black hat on.
But I remember being at a school where they didn't even mention Black History Month in February. They celebrated Literacy Month, y'all. Okay. So I remember that. I'm saying this to say, I remember some people say, well, why do we need it? Like, why do we need Black History Month? See, I don't know if we need Black History Month just to talk about all the great stuff about Black folks. We need Black History Month to talk about what happened. When I went to Rwanda, man, one of the craziest things about Rwanda, y'all know what happened in Rwanda. One of the things we learned was the way the country heals is that every year they stop and they talk about what happened. Okay? Because remember, on the streets of that country, you got violators living with people who are victims, and nobody knows who's who, but they acknowledge the hurt. And I say all that to say, how can you look at me as a possible perpetrator? You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time in history, me and Shay were talking about this the other day. In Canada, if you saw a black child and wanted them, you could just take them. If we're walking out, just imagine this, because we all got kids. Well, not everybody got kids, but we got kids on the line. Imagine you walking through the mall with your child, and a man says, "Oh, that little Negro baby right there looks like he's gonna turn into something big." He can walk up and take him. That was law. We're talking about years of rape and all kind of crazy stuff. And then you turn around and say that the people you did that to are the criminals. And the reality is, it's not to say that we're good. Like, there are people in our ranks that have problems, but I can guarantee you, especially when we have a mental health person on the line, that a lot of the issues we deal with in our community,
Trauma.
with a lot of stuff, is because we're dealing with trauma. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
There are places in the United States right now where incest is a big thing in the black community. And when you do the research, you find out that's where they used to breed the slaves. The joint is in our blood. You know what I'm saying? So stop clutching your purse. I shouldn't be clutching my purse.
Epigenetics.
You know
Exactly, precisely. But again, it goes back to that propaganda, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I do credit the white man for. They know how to get in our
They
heads.
work well together.
Oh yeah, and get us to think the way they want us to think, and vice versa. I mean, and they do the same thing for their own. I remember my son. I took them to Chick-fil-A, and while we were waiting on the food, kids were playing. This is what, last year. Kids were playing in the indoor playground, and so my children had the high top, crazy hair, and so this little girl said, this little white girl, she said that she wanted them to play, but that my son was going to be the monster, the black monster.
Because he looked like a monster, apparently.
Now she's 6, but it's being passed down. It's the conversation she's hearing.
Yep.
I don't fault her.
Yeah.
I fault the environment she's being reared in.
Mm.
And that's why racism continues to persist from generation to generation.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that it's clear that it goes beyond training, that it's a mental thing. Because how many times have you heard of a black cop going rampage and shooting white people? You don't hear about it. And there are plenty of black police officers out there, but you don't hear about black cops jumping out the car, shooting a 12-year-old boy because somebody said he had a fake gun. You don't hear about black cops jumping out of the car, 8 of them, and shooting at a man who's parked in his driveway. You don't hear about that. So it goes beyond training. It's definitely a mental thing of how they perceive us long before they even get to the scene. So
and I agree 1,000%. And I do think there has to be like, you're supposed to serve and protect.
Mm-hmm.
And I questioned. I'm like, 4 shots? Does it take 4 precise shots? And how are you training? Are you trained? Because I think I heard somewhere they're trained. You shoot to stop them, like you continue to stop the threat.
You train to neutralize the threat, and you shoot center mass. That's how they're trained. That's why you don't hear about them shooting in the leg.
Ain't no wound. Ain't no. That's not how they're trained. And it's crazy that's how we're trained, and now I'll take a step further, because there was another shooting of a man. They said he had a gun in his hands, and it turned out he had a hammer in his pocket. And I think one of the police officers had an AR, and I'm just like, it's not a crime to have a firearm.
Right.
And even if it is a
crime, it is if you black.
Right. The sentence ain't death. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, carrying a gun, carrying a knife, a mistake, a literal bad decision should not cost you your life. But for black people, it happens over and over and over again. In Knoxville, there was a young black boy who was in a relationship talking to, a white girl. They got into some kind of altercation, and the girlfriend tells him that her dad is going to handle him. So the young brother, who's fearful of his life, brings a gun to school. It's a bad decision, right? But he's afraid for his life. He's bringing it to protect himself. Well, the mother calls law enforcement when she finds out they come to the school as if it's an active shooter, and first the reports come out that he shot a police officer, and then they killed him, and then we find out that the law enforcement shot themselves. I guess in the tussle of things, the firearm fired and hit himself, and they go into the bathroom and they kill this black boy. Like we see over and over again where they're able to make bad decisions and live. Horrible, evil decisions, intentional decisions, and live and say it was a bad day, right? Or take them to get the last hamburger. But when we make a mistake, it usually will cost you your life. And for this fight to go on outside of their home, it ended up costing her life, and it shouldn't have. It should not have. And just the policing, the training, all of it just needs to be just gut. I do not like the term defund the police. I understand the meaning. I believe in what it means and what the words in the movement, but I don't know if those are the best words to describe it. But we definitely need to tear down the system, and just start all over. This is heartbreaking. This girl was 15 years old. Shouldn't be. I don't know. Gio, you want to put up some of these comments, and then we're gonna slide to our brief but last I won't say brief, but our last segment. You muted.
I think he put them up already. He put some
okay. All right. So yeah. So this is heavy. I don't know about y'all, but even discussing it is heavy. And throughout this pandemic that just continues to continue, I know everybody's acting like it's over, like everything's reopening and things of that nature, but we're still in this pandemic, and in the midst of this pandemic, life is still going on. People are still dying. Cancer is still running rapid, and then on top of it, we're still seeing police, the shootings of young black men and black women, right in front of our very eyes, and it is a very heavy weight. And Camille, we wanted to bring you on to kind of talk about this weight, some constructive ways to carry it, what to do with it, and just kind of the state of Black America in this pandemic, and just dealing with everything that has transpired over this past year plus.
Yeah, we've all definitely been through a lot, and it's been hard to really advise individuals on a situation like this because no one's ever been through it, right? We're all kind of learning and adapting together, but that's exactly how you deal with it. You just band together, you have a support system, and very first thing is definitely to make sure you're loving on those closest to you. Okay. That means unplugging from social media at times and really just pouring into those who are physically close to you and emotionally closest to you. Extremely important. Also, like I've been saying repeatedly during this segment, is to protect your mental space. Okay. Everything that's dropped or mentioned or aired doesn't mean that it needs to be consumed. And so that doesn't mean that you're being indifferent or insensitive. That means that you're trying to control the small space that you have and the space of your family and your loved ones. That's all that means. And you can turn those the desire to be in the know just into prayers. Pray about the young lady's family in that situation, instead of turning on the TV and just re-traumatizing yourself over and over again, because it will take a toll. Okay. And that's when the anger begins to boil, and then you explode and you don't really know why, because you've been holding all of this tension and frustration inside. Also, I think it's very important to speak to your children about these situations in a very age-appropriate way, depending on what the age is, especially if they're asking questions. You don't want to just keep them in the dark, but you do want to give them a general sense about what's going on, because they need to know. But we want to not traumatize them either. So you want to be very careful with how you disseminate that information. But no, it's been heavy. You all have mentioned multiple times that the state of the Black community is one of trauma. Speaking from a clinical perspective, everything that we've gone through, our ancestors have gone through, I mean, it would be classic PTSD. So just because they didn't have the diagnoses then doesn't mean that it didn't impact them and impact us genetically. It's called epigenetics. And so that trauma changes your DNA and it's passed down. And that's essentially what we're experiencing now. But it's not, unfortunately, it's not even something of the past. It's very present. We're not dealing with what happened in the past. We're dealing with what happened yesterday. You know, when we went to the store, got profiled. And I think it's just very important to have a strong sense of identity as a Black person and have a strong support system and, of course, a strong spiritual foundation in order to navigate these United States of America. I'm still learning. I can't say I have all the answers, but I know most of the answers rooted in you loving yourself and you asking God to lead you and your family through this trauma that we keep experiencing and just trying to shield yourself as much as possible. I hope that answers the question correctly.
No, that was beautiful. I mean, and what really spoke to me and literally almost brought tears to my eyes was when you PTSD and we think about the just the measures that are set aside for our
more specifically it's called complex PTSD, and that means so PTSD is usually given when there's a group of symptoms after one event, so say a rape, a war, car accident. But complex PTSD is a little more specialized, or more specific, I should say, is when the trauma is repeated over and over. It never passes.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's what we're all experiencing.
You talked about epigenetics. Mm-hmm. Can you dive a little deeper in it? I mean, that just perked my ear up a little bit in terms of how the next generation, that certain changes in their DNA and even in how they perceive the world to be. Can you explain a little bit about the epigenetics?
Yeah,
piece?
so it's shown scientifically that trauma can be passed down genetically. And I actually have a book I wanted to recommend. It's called Post-Traumatic Slavery Syndrome. It's an incredible book, and it will basically help you understand how trauma has stemming from slavery has infiltrated our DNA, and subsequently has infiltrated our communities and our homes because we're all functioning from a source of post-traumatic slavery syndrome by Joy DeGruy. She's a social worker like I am, but it's just it changes your DNA, so and it's passed down. I mean, I'm not an expert in epigenetics, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, and it's not just humans too. I mean, this is why, years ago they talked about not eating chicken that's been abused. You know what I'm saying? Because that abuse entered into the chicken.
Cage-free chicken.
Right? No, it's free range, y'all. Cage free alive. It's free range. And then I don't know if y'all ever heard of it though, but there's some places that they say on the slave routes through the Atlantic where sharks still gather. Because it was one of those places where people were thrown off the ship.
My God.
You know what I mean? And so they say even to this day, sharks will gather in the parts of the waters, man. So it's real, man.
I have to research that one. I did want to speak to KP really quick. I'm not sure how much time we have, but you said you were frustrated that your school didn't really celebrate Black History Month or didn't take it seriously.
Well, not my current school, just in case anybody from Oakwood is watching.
No, your grade school, right?
It was a school year.
It was grade school.
I just think it's important for us as Blacks to have the right expectation of these white institutions and these white educators. we're really fooling ourselves if we expect them to educate us about our history adequately. They're always going to paint themselves in the proper light. Okay, instead of terrorists, they're going to be explained as or categorized as explorers and the
missionaries and
right. So we have to take ownership of that. You have to teach your children the history. You can't depend on Black history to roll around because they're going to fail you every time. It's synonymous with Blacks trying to teach Chinese children Chinese history. It just won't work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to take it that seriously. We're not going to be competent to do that.
Right.
And so I think it's very important to shift the expectation to ourselves. And that's when we become empowered, when we take on those responsibilities instead of blaming them for not doing something that we can do for ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to just affirm you, not that you need affirmation, Camille. But what you shared today, you know, about, you know, protecting your mental health and also with your children, like that to me has great value. And that's something that I'm going to use with my children as they mature. They're young. They don't know what's going on right now. But that the way you did that, and then the compromise, that was a beautiful compromise, so that they can hear and see the closing remarks. But you didn't subject them to all the trauma of the trial, and seeing that. I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot, and I know the audience did also. And I just wanted to affirm you. I didn't get I didn't get a chance to finish what I was saying before Gio ran with the joint. But for me, when I think about our soldiers who come back from war, and we see just what it does to them, and the PTSD and the programs that are available for them, and we think about all the trauma that we go through on the complex. I'm learning trauma that we go through, PTSD that we go through, and there's nothing for us, you know. And
that's why, really quickly, Shay, sorry to interrupt you, but that's why I have literally modeled my entire practice around serving Black, our people, because we need that. It's going to be a different experience going to a Black therapist versus going to a white one. It's just going to be totally different because we have to know, we have a different experience, right? And so I've really just tried to be intentional. I don't even market to whites. I don't do that. I want to serve my people and help them better understand themselves and validate the way what they've been experiencing, and just help them move forward. So
you know what would be cool, now that y'all mentioned it, we had the reparations talk a while ago. Like, instead of just giving people checks, man, like maybe they ought to, maybe we ought to invest in, helping the community through what we've been through, like putting some money in, sending people to school to become mental health, workers and whatnot.
I want that too.
Giving them, you so done. He said, I want the check too. But I'm just saying though, you can give somebody with a slave mentality a check. It's not gonna matter. Yeah,
exactly. It shifts from being empowered, which is what you're speaking to, KP, versus just receiving a handout, and it'll be spent back in corporate America, and we're still in the same.
They make that money back. They make that money back.
Now y'all see
that stimulus money's already back.
Look, they go look at their stimulus checks behind them. Look at their stimulus check behind them.
The stimulus checks behind you.
All the stimulus checks in your background.
That's good. None of these shoes were bought with stimulus bread.
Okay, go ahead and finish your thought.
No, that was just it, man. We go through so much on a daily basis, and Camille pointed it out, like the clutching of purses, like walking to stores, and it's sad. But if you haven't had a gun drawn on you as a Black man in America, like, you're a minority. Like, it's crazy. That's like the norm. Like, everybody has a story where the police drew guns, on you.
You know what's so funny? Like, some of us, I've normalized. I mean, it's becoming normal now to expect that from people, to expect the clutching of the purse, to get on the elevator, and you say hi to someone, they don't say nothing to you, but another person comes in and they have a full out conversation like they've known each other for years, and so it becomes normal to a sense, but to normalize that, I think is to deepen greater that trauma that we're talking about, because that's not normal. Right? It's not okay for that to be the how things are. And so one thing that Camilla, again, I want to go back to, she said you have to love yourself. And one of the things that we have to teach our kids to love themselves, to be unashamedly black. That movie, I'm blackly black, whatever. CB4, that's what we gotta be. We gotta be black, unashamedly, and it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I homeschool the children. It's one of the main reasons, because I'm trying to give them an education and a love for themselves that they're not going to receive in a white institution. And even in a black one, because the state is still running the curriculum. And so I know that they need a sense of identity and a strong spiritual foundation in order to navigate, giving them the best likelihood to navigate in a healthy, confident way.
Good. Yeah,
I love it,
man. So this was it was a heavy show, but now y'all see why I reached out to the one, the only Camille Jones to help us navigate through these waters, and you've been a blessing, and we're grateful for all that you do. Let's go ahead and get your information. Where can the people get in contact with you?
Okay, so my telephone number.
Oh, we doing that? You giving the digits out?
Yeah, why not? It's on my website. So my website is joycounselingcenter.com. And then I do have a Facebook business page. It's Joy Counseling. Let me make sure. So it's at Joy Counseling Dallas. That's the Facebook page, at Joy Counseling Dallas. That's my handle.
The website, the front page has a cup of a white mug on there. Take the journey of your life.
Yes. Yeah.
White mug.
I mean, it's coffee, but everybody don't believe in.
You post them. A coffee mug.
It's post them. It's post.
It need to be a black mug though. No,
hey, I have mostly black pictures on the website.
Listen, your resume speaks for itself. You don't gotta explain yourself to nobody on here. I respect what you're doing for your community, and I'm putting that link in our comment section. Oh, Gio did it too.
Thank you.
And we want you all. Listen, when you go through something, traumatic.
Is there anything? I'm sorry. Do you want to put that number still up there, Miss Camille, or you don't want to put that?
Sure. Yeah, you can. You all can contact me again. I am licensed to practice psychotherapy in Alabama and the state of Texas. So feel free to reach out 256-503-7248.
If you're not in Alabama or Texas, they'll still call. You know what I'm saying? You can still consult. You know what I mean? She can still consult.
And she's a great judge of character. I mean, I'm one of her friends. So
here we go.
Yeah. How long has it been? How long have we been friends?
Through thick and thin. We've
been friends since what? 2004.
04. When you walked me through registration line at Oakwood, I knew right then we were gonna be. we was gonna be all right.
We're family at this point.
We are family. Our brothers were roommates, and so we're family. All right. As we wind things down, we thank you again, Camille, for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Oh yeah, we gotta have you back. To talk about Black entrepreneurship also. So we talk about some of the passions and the things that maybe we can have you, and we'll talk and see how it can all roll out. Some of us have been busier than others, some of us, the stimmies were a little larger than others. And Ted, man, you got some heat, man. Go ahead and share some of this heat with the people, man. Some of the folk, they hung in here to the wee hours, man. They want to see this heat, man. What you got for the people, man?
Don't lie to the people. This ain't no stimmy.
Stimmy, that top shelf, when you reach to the top, it's stimmy.
they call these the Michigan 90s, but I'm calling the Oakwood 90s, the blue and gold. And I don't know if y'all saw Retro College Tyler. He has some blue and gold Oakwood shorts that he just
yeah.
I already put my order in to go with these. So
clean.
You know, I'm an Air Max fan. So these are the Air Max 90s. They call them Michigans, but I call them Oakwoods.
That's what's up. I like that. I like how you threw that little Oakwood out there. I like it. Anybody got anything to say before we kick it out of here, man?
I got a 316 if y'all want to ride that way.
Go ahead, drop it, bro. DJ, you got something for him?
What's up?
No, DJ. You know, DJ. He remote.
Nah, man, but I really do appreciate everything Camille brought to the show today. One thing that kept coming up, y'all, Proverbs 4:23 says, "Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the springs of life." I think the Bible says, guard it, like guard your heart. In the Old Testament, they talk about your mind. Guard your mind. You know, people can affect your body. I mean, they can affect you on a political standpoint, your finances, but they cannot touch your mind, at least only if you allow them to. So, man, guard your mind. Don't let everybody in there. Don't let yourself get unnecessary trauma. Guard your mind, because out of your mind flows the springs of life. So if you only take in trauma all day, man, guess what? You're going to live a life of stress. You're going to be burnt out. So feed your soul, man. Listen to good music. Spend time with friends. Talk with family. Just do as much good as you can. Guard the avenues of your mind. That's it for me.
And one of those things you all can do is kick it with us, man. Every Monday, right here, same location, same time. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, KP, for dropping that nugget. Camille, once again, big thank you to you for blessing us with your presence and
main screen, though.
with those nuggets that you share with us. We love you all. We'll be here next week, God willing, for another edition of Kicking It 316. We out.
Why?